We're live.
Wow.
Just like that.
The magic of technology.
It's a fantastic thing. All right.
Here we are.
We made it.
I know. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
And I've watched your podcast, so I've received the instructions on the use of a microphone.
Okay, so you know what to do, what not to do.
Hold it close, like you would a woman.
I mean,
don't talk out here because it makes a lot of noise.
It won't pick it up.
Get it up here close
exactly.
like this.
Good.
Up close and very personal.
That's actually like the perfect distance that you have it right now. Because down here it's too low, and this is way too much. You have the. You are at the perfect level. John, wait. I want to make sure you're hearing everything fine. Are you, your headphones?
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear?
Real loud. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
No more adjustments need to be made? Wow, this is the first time I don't even need to adjust anything.
Okay.
I think it sounds smooth, right?
It does.
Okay.
You can turn it down a little bit.
The hearing for you?
Yeah, just a tad.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, I'm afraid to breathe. That's good. Oh, that's perfect.
Perfect?
Yeah, that's
Perfect.
good.
All right, awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do a minor introduction for you. Is that okay?
I'll do the major one. You go ahead and do the easy one.
I'll do the minor. Okay,
Uh-huh.
I'll give you the major. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 6 of Sherapy. I am here with, I'm very honored actually to introduce to you guys a guest that I've known for quite some time. It's been 2 to 3 years, I would say.
2020 when you sold me the phone.
What? It was 20.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I brought it just so you could say hi to it again.
He still has the. Oh my God. So, guys, this is an old customer of mine from Verizon, where I used to sell phones.
I'm a grown-up senior
Yes.
former customer, not old.
Oh, yeah. No,
Old is closer to death. We don't want to go there, do we?
we're not trying to
No,
die
we're
here.
not.
We're not. We're
We're
trying
not.
to stay alive.
Okay.
John is an ex-Verizon customer, and I just recently saw him again at the gym randomly, and he was like pumping like 100-pound dumbbells, and I was like, dude, chill out here. Leave some people for the rest of us, because everyone was going up to him, talking to him. He's a very popular person at our gym.
You know, in all honesty, they weren't dumbbells. They were just small people that I was able to lift. And I don't think it's fair to pick on people like that. Okay, so
Not at all.
I'm bigger than they are, and I weigh more. And if I pick them up wrong, they squeal, but that doesn't make them dumbbells.
Not at all. Are you
No.
kidding with me?
No.
No,
They're victims.
they asked for it.
And I'm only there to help out.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Give, never take.
Absolutely. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you guys, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. John Ellingson. Boom!
Laka, shaka, shaka.
Pleasure to have you, John.
Boom,
Thank you.
shaka,
Thank you.
shaka, shaka.
How are you? How was that intro? Was that okay? I mean,
That
it's
was
not.
pretty nice.
It's all right.
That's so much better than at the men's prison.
You put the keys down, of course.
Uh-huh.
So, John, how are you? How are you feeling? Do you want to do your major introduction, or is that we're done with the intros?
Well, we can work other stuff into it,
Okay, fine.
like what I do or used to do for a living.
There we go,
Yeah.
John.
So I'm a retired lawyer,
Got you.
and for a while I wanted to go into medicine, so I tried to organize a mobile gynecological unit.
Mm-hmm.
Have speculum will travel.
Oop.
Your women will know what that means.
Yeah.
It didn't work out, so I stayed with the law.
Okay, got you. That makes more sense. I want to adjust one thing real quick because I feel like I want to hear you better.
Okay.
Wait.
I'm waiting.
Talk now?
Talk now.
Perfect.
Talking now.
Perfect.
Alrighty.
Okay, and your headset volume is okay?
Doing great.
Okay, awesome. I should probably tell the people, by the way, that this is the first time that I will have absolutely no questions prepared. Nothing ready. Nothing's in writing. I have nothing that I particularly want to ask you. And today, when I was at the gym, I was thinking, like, what am I going to ask him? Like, what are we going to talk about? I was working out for like an hour, and I was like, what are we going to talk about?
I've been thinking about this too. And I thought, what I'll do to get even with him for that Verizon phone is I'll just sit here and look at him. He'll ask me questions. I'll give him one word, yes or no answers. Or I'll just look puzzled and stare off into space. And the next hour and a half will pass slower than the ages of time all rolled into one. So
it's a fair trade.
But I do, in order that the conversation not entirely lag, I brought questions of my own.
Oh, really?
Yes, really.
Okay. Before you tell me your first question, I do want to ask you, what do you think about the phone I sold you, by the way? Is it an okay phone? I mean, you've had it for the last 4 years.
Works fine.
So then why do you...
Verizon keeps trying to sell me a new one.
Oh,
and
you don't like that?
No. And you know, you did the trap thing. You said there's no contract. You can quit any time you want. We're going to give you a great deal on this, and you can pay it over time. I said, I'll just pay it now. No. We don't do it that way. You pay it over time.
Yes.
You have to pay it over 36 months. No interest. And for 36 months, you get the little tiny payment, and you get the phone. And when you're all done, you will have gotten a great savings. All that's true.
Yeah.
Except if you cancel for any reason, like you have the audacity to drop dead, then not only the full price of the phone becomes immediately due with interest retroactively for 19 years, but you have to buy Sean a house.
John, do you know what kind of deal I got you for that phone that you're saying this to me right now? John, that phone was for free.
That phone was $400.
It was $400, but you got it on a promo.
Yeah.
So it was free over 24 months.
No.
Yes.
It was $750. It knocked $350 off. I paid $400 over the 3 years.
But the phone itself doesn't cost $750.
It did when it was advertised. It was a $710 phone. They knocked off $3-something, and I paid $400 over the course of the 3 years. I have the contract. I am a lawyer. I know these things.
Are you sure? Okay, I'm not gonna. You just said you're a lawyer. I'm not even gonna doubt it at this point.
Yeah. Well, I'm not anymore. I'm retired. I still have a license, but it's inactive, so I cannot give you any legal advice at all.
When did you, like, when were you done with law? Yeah.
In 2018, the landlord where our firm had been the first tenant in the building.
Wow.
50 years before, and we'd renewed leases. And toward the end, there were only 3 of us practicing, and the landlord said, I'm not going to renew your lease. What did we do wrong? Nothing. We're going to tear the building down. So... No way. The partners, we sat down, what are we going to do? They're a couple of years older than I am. Oh. And I was ready to retire. Well, we'll wrap it up. So... Just like that? Just like that. It took us about 4 months. And we got all of our ducks in order. 2 of the guys kept practicing for a while. And I'd already kind of had my landing gear down and ready to come in for a landing to retire. And I was lucky because I could do it on my terms. I didn't have the business fall out from under me. I didn't get sick. Nothing bad happened. Yeah. Didn't get run out of town this time. And so... Thank God. And the joke had been, I was the last fellow to be made partner in the firm. When I joined the firm in 1979... Jeez. There were 6 partners, and then they added a guy, and we hired 3 or 4 more lawyers, and they made me a partner in 1985. And then by that time we had, 10 or 11 lawyers. So the firm said, we're not going to keep adding partners, because otherwise we're going to get to be a big law firm. So we had... Is that not the goal, though, to become a big law firm? In a way it is. But what they were learning, and I learned as I became a partner, you spend more and more of your time administering the business of your firm than you do practicing law. What does that mean? Well, there's human resources issues. There's managing the technology. There's insurance issues. And the more lawyers you have, the more lawyers you have to keep busy.
Yeah.
So you have to generate work and then keep the associates busy and have enough work for yourself to bill out, and then deal with the administration of the firm. And a lot of firms would hire an administrator to run the firm, like a management company.
Yeah.
Well, now you got to earn the money to pay them.
Yeah.
Plus, I always wanted to be in a small to medium-sized firm just to have the socialization, just to know the people in the firm.
Yeah.
I'd had a government job for a while, and that wasn't for me. So,
what was that job? if you can talk about it, of course.
If I tell you, I have to destroy the camera, take you.
It's classified.
It's classified. You're originally from Iran.
Oh.
What am I going to say? You know, I know. I listen.
You're sitting across a terrorist right now.
I watched your mother.
You did, yes. You know she sat where you sat.
I know she sat.
Yeah.
And she was wearing lounge pajamas like I am.
Yes.
And like you usually do. I dressed for you.
Why didn't I wear my Should I go change real quick?
Oh, please don't.
I can literally go and come back. I have like Mario Kart pants that
Do you really?
Yeah, it takes like 2 seconds.
There's an easier way to do this.
How?
Just get down to flesh and blood.
What? John. All right, John.
It's time to do the big reveal. After all, you said anything can be edited, right? Relax. You've been to the gym before.
I have. I've seen. Oh, no way. John. You are actually a madman.
He wasn't ready for that, was he?
John, you. This man, for those of you that cannot see, that are not watching on YouTube, this man just took off his pants. He came with some Homer Simpson pajama pants that I actually loved, and I thought he was about to strip naked in front of me. He just went down to his work, his nice casual pants.
Yes.
So,
I had this planned because I watched a couple of his episodes, and I noticed he either wears casual lounging clothes or something soft without a pattern. And I thought, I'm going to wear my homies.
That's a
there it is.
It's my mistake for not wearing my pajamas, honestly.
Well, but look at the kicker. You thought I was going to go commando on you.
I actually thought, like, this guy's tweaking right now in front of me. I was like, no way he's doing this.
My gift to you.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen, you go to the gym, you see a lot of people's junk all the time. It's just there. So, like, I'm like, shit, but nice.
Not
good
on
placement.
Not on my podcast, for God's sake.
Yeah, not in front of the children.
This is going to be a really short program.
Yeah, we're going to cut it actually right now. Guys, this has been John Ellingson.
Give me the applause. Give me the applause.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Ellingson. Oh, wait, no. Ladies and gentlemen, John Ellingson. Please, settle down, everyone. Settle down. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So, where were we? Law practice. So, we had a small firm, and it was great. It was great. It was the right size.
Yeah.
And
still personable. So, like, everyone knew each other. Everyone was cool.
Yeah.
You knew their families probably and all that jazz.
We socialized together. We had a couple of guys from SC and a guy from two guys from Stanford.
SC? What is it? Like USC?
Two guys from USC and two guys from Stanford.
Did you just make USC? You shorten it to SC? That is so bold of you. Just say USC, man. Are you kidding me? SC?
Well, they're local.
Sure. We'll say SC. Yeah.
So all their garb, everything was SC, USC, University. So there was a big football aura. Everybody was interested. So we had an annual football season.
Okay.
We predicted the outcomes of games against the spread. The winner got taken out to dinner with spouse or girlfriend. And the losers paid.
Nice.
And it was always a really fun, expensive, blow your brains out dinner.
I would imagine
it was great. We had a great time, and we did stuff like that. I remember the first time I went to, I was hired in the spring, and there was a dinner in the fall. It was a Christmas holiday dinner.
Okay.
And we went to a restaurant, and this is the first time I've had this kind of interaction with these guys. My then girlfriend, now wife, was with us. And the senior founding partner, a guy named Fred, he wanted to get my attention on something. He leaned over the table and he said, "Hey, John, hey, John." I didn't hear him. Dave is sitting next to me. "Dave, lean back. Get John." Dave was talking. He takes one of the rolls out of his senior, throws it, hits me in the side, and he goes, "John, I'm talking to you."
He just throws the roll at you.
And I'm looking around, and I'm thinking, the waitstaff's going to go get a gun. We're going to be thrown out of here.
Wait, were you at partner at this point or not yet?
No, I was an associate.
Okay.
And I remember thinking, this is the law firm where I'm going to spend the rest of my life.
No way.
Yeah. After the first year, I got a review. One of the partners called me and he said, "Okay, you've been here a year, we're going to give you a review. You're doing well, and blah, 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 and, we want you to get a little more active in group, some, Chamber of Commerce or something, generate business, okay."
Okay.
And he said, "We're going to give you a little raise." "Thank you." He says, "That's it." I said, "Well, I like it here." And when they hired me, they say, "If you're here for 5 years, we generally will make you a partner."
Okay.
Okay. I'd been there for a year, and I said, "Let's make this easy. I'm going to be here until I die or you fire me. So if you're not going to make me partner, make it easy and just fire me now." And he said, "No one's ever said that before." And I said, "I know, and I can't believe I just did." 4 years later, two of them walk in after their annual partners meeting. And I go, "What?" And he goes, "Well, we just finished up." "I know you finished your partners meeting. What?" And one looks at me, and then they look at you, and I said, "Okay, let's make this simple.
Yeah.
Either shake my hand and tell me I'm a partner, or tell me to go out in the parking lot and shoot myself."
Jesus Christ.
What's it going to be?
Which is it?
And they kind of stood there, and "Do you want to tell him?" "No, you tell him." "All right, I'll tell him. You're a partner."
Oh my God! No way.
So we laughed. We had a good time.
Build that suspense.
And as time progressed, and it happened that we didn't expand. We didn't have more partners. For years, we had 7 or 8 of us.
Yeah.
And then it kind of wound down. And at one point, they said, "John, you're the lucky one. You're the newest partner, and you're one of the younger guys in the firm. So in the end, you get all of this."
Holy shit.
And all of this turned out to be packing up boxes and throwing shit out.
Just getting rid of everything.
All of this meant trying to find some charity come pick up the office furniture.
Oh my God.
All of this meant standing there, looking at the place to make sure we'd thrown everything out. And then, unbelievably, we had a receptionist who was also our right arm. She became my paralegal, and she kind of ran the firm for us.
Yeah.
She was really good. She and I stand at the end of the hall. I said, "It's been more like family around here." She goes, "Yeah, you've been more like an uncle than you have been a boss." I reached behind her, turned off the lights, walked out the door. 3 months later, the building was bulldozed.
I literally have goosebumps on my arm.
Isn't that fun? Yeah. So I got all of that.
John, at least, the memories.
Yeah.
They'll last forever.
43 years, and it was the only career job that I had. And a government job, that was an all-expense-paid trip to parts of Asia, courtesy of the United States government and our Department of Defense. I got drafted out of law school.
Oh, okay. You got drafted. Okay. So you went to the military?
I have a letter in the album that my dear mother prepared. And the opening, I have 2 albums. One has my birth certificate and baptism and stuff like that, and it ends with college. And then the next one starts with a letter signed by Richard M. Nixon, President of the United States, not inviting me so much as telling me I was being drafted.
Oh my God.
I got to go serve my country, and I thought, oh good, sandwiches, wine, pour for them. No. So I went into the Army.
Damn, you went into the Army, so you served our country. Wow. Hey, thanks for your service, by the way, man.
You're welcome.
Didn't even know that you were in the military. You might have told me, but
you couldn't tell by my military bearing.
Yeah, you You totally seem like a military man, actually.
Oh, absolutely.
Can I tell you something, John? That initial bread that you said your boss threw at you, the senior partner, and then you told yourself, like, from that moment, I'm here. Like, I know this is where I'm going to be. 97.7% of kids nowadays, if they experience that in the workplace, someone threw some shit at them.
Yeah.
They would turn back and they would never, ever pursue a career in that field. Ever. That's their trigger. That's their trauma story. They're gonna have to go to therapy because of that, honestly. You don't even, the fact that you tell me like that's what made you stick, it's just a sign of the times.
Yeah, as I look back on it, that now would be more grounds for employee harassment.
HR suits.
HR would be all over them.
Just threw a bread roll at me?
Yeah, 3 years of annual income and disability. Yeah.
So, wow. Different age, man. Different times. Different people.
We had, I remember one time, we had a gunfight in the office.
A what?
Gunfight.
What do you mean by a gunfight? What is gunfight? Like, you're shooting each other?
Yeah. With rubber band guns.
Oh.
In the hallway, ambushing each other, running into the office, and firing off. And we had a rubber band gun that had a hammer you'd pull back, and the hammer had 3 cross pieces. I've got 2 here. And you could put a rubber band on each piece, click it, and as the hammer rotated, it would release 1 rubber band at a time.
Oh, wow.
So you had a 6-shooting rubber band gun.
That's so sick.
It is.
Wow, that's so cool.
So you'd walk by some guys, only by guys who you knew could
take that joke.
Yeah,
for sure.
So and so's on the phone, and you know he's not talking on the phone to a local judge or anything.
Yeah,
he's talking to a friend or to a buddy or to his girlfriend or something. You just walk in. You son of a bitch, get out of here. What are you doing? Goddamn, put that goddamn gun away.
Wow. So you guys had office camaraderie.
Yeah.
Like,
and we had a couple of these, and one day one of my partners and a gal, one of the secretaries, got together, conspired together. And I don't know who I was on the phone with, but, the receptionist would have told them, okay, now he's on the phone with whoever, his girlfriend or his buddy.
Yeah, so
and
now
they,
go.
And they just came in, 2 of them came in, just sat down, one went high, one knelt down, and they just peppered me. Bam, 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 bam.
That's just bullying at that point. Oh my God. Both of them?
2 of them.
Damn.
And then when they were done, closed the door and walked away. And a person on the phone, what's going on? What's happening? I'll tell you later. It's not going to work.
I just got shot.
I've just been shot.
I just been shot and I'm bleeding out now.
Yeah.
Damn.
So what else do I have on my list?
You go ahead, because I have some things that are coming to me that I want to ask you, but I want to hear this first, honestly.
Okay.
And I want to ask you my thing later. Go ahead.
Okay. So the first one is the device that we hold.
What about it?
Well, you're right. It's nice to have the headphones because then I can hear how I sound.
Yeah.
And if I'm too far away, it echoes.
Yeah.
And it gives me the opportunity to say, there's a special relationship between Sean and I. It grew out of meeting each other at Verizon and seeing each other in the gym and talking. And then one day I told him, Luke, I am your father. And he said, no, you're not. Luke, I'm Sean. I'm your dad. I'm your uncle.
My daddy.
Yeah, daddy.
My daddy.
When I heard that the other day, I thought he said daddy.
Dude, I can't. He listened to all my podcasts, actually.
I have no life. I'm 217 of your 312 followers.
Can I ask you, actually? Oh my God, I thought you were going to talk about your age for a second. How old are you, John? Let the whole world know right now how old you are.
Well, you're 23.
Yes, sir.
You just had a birthday.
Yes, sir.
And I have one coming up.
Okay.
And I'm 25.
That's crazy. So you're turning 26 now?
Wait a minute. I couldn't have practiced law for 43 years if I'm just turning 26.
John?
Yes.
Your stories have a bunch of holes in them.
It does now, but I'm old. I'll be 78 in August.
What?
I will be 78 years old in the 8th month of the year of our Lord. Wow. You think wow on your end. Son, you don't know what wow is until you're nearly 80 years old.
That's actually... You know who you remind me of, kind of?
I don't.
I hope you take this as a... Because I actually love the guy. Larry David? You do remind me of him.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
That's like my favorite thing.
No. No.
Spot on, John. He's one of my... I've seen every episode of Curb in my entire life. Like every single one that he's dropped, I'm like crying of laughter. The guy's great. You really do. Has anyone ever told you that? Like, I feel like you should get that a lot.
No, I don't get Larry David. I get other, oh gee, you remind me of, or something like that. But
who?
No. Oh, they'll think of somebody. Oh, you remind me of Will Pilgrim. We're going to go down there and surround the Indians, and we're going to take them away one by one.
That's
John Wayne.
Wow. I've never even... Oh, John Wayne. I know John Wayne.
Yeah, he's got an airport named after him. Right down the street. You had to go there.
Oh, John Wayne Airport.
Look at him. He put that together just like that.
I got to be more quick on my feet. You're really quick on your feet, John. That's why I say you're like Larry David. It's because he's so witty. He's so like on the spot. Like,
here's a fun story. So when I started practicing law, I mentioned I had a house after I was like 4 years in practice. I thought I need to get some real estate.
You want to invest into real estate?
Yeah, I want to buy a house.
Okay, yeah.
But start out small. Get a little condo, something.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm a lawyer and I know a lot about real estate law, but I don't know anything about how real estate deals work.
Right.
So I'm talking to a buddy of mine. He's not a lawyer, but he's in the same spot I am. We sign up for a real estate class at a local junior college.
No way.
I remember the instructor's name was Glenn Martin. And it was in a big lecture hall.
Right.
Lots of students there. My buddy told me just recently, he said, the test that they gave us in that class that we passed, we could have become real estate agents. We passed the California real estate exam. Really? I didn't know that's what it was. He goes, well, why would you? You passed the bar exam. Screw that.
Yeah.
So on the last night of the class, the instructor's talking about stuff, and he said, does anybody here watch The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson back then?
I know Johnny Carson.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, my son is going to be on. He's a comedian, and it's the first time he's ever been on national television. Glenn's son was Steve Martin.
No way.
Went home that night.
No way.
Went home that night, watched him, and there was Steve Martin making his first. Well, excuse me.
Oh my God! No way! No free.
Yeah.
Steve Martin's dad was your professor?
He was the guy teaching real estate at Orange Coast College. Yeah.
Steve Martin, the legend, the man, the myth.
That guy. Mm-hmm. Yep. Sure enough.
Wow. And he was just like his...
He was just
starting off.
He was just getting started.
Wow. That's so cool.
I don't know if that was his first appearance on TV, but it was his first appearance on the Carson Show.
This is like way back then. Like this is like in the 70s then probably, right?
Yeah. That would have been... I got that house in about 76 or 7, so it would have been about 76.
John, I listened to podcasts today, and even to this day, like, they bring up Steve Martin's name, and they're like, this guy is like the ultimate legend of comedy. Like, he's like, he pioneered it for so many people, they say about him.
And he was in that era, in the early to mid 80s, where stand-up comedy and comedy clubs were coming up all over the place. Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, of course.
Just George Carlin, a whole bunch of guys from the 60s into the 70s. And I admired them. I thought that looked like fun.
I swear you could have become a stand-up comic if you wanted to, John.
I wanted to, and I did.
You did?
I did.
What happened? You tried it out, like before law or after, or what?
I was in my early 50s.
Okay.
And
let me get rid of this. Sorry.
I was in my early 50s, and a guy a subtenant in our office. We ended up having a whole lot of subtenants in our office, and this guy was in charge of a fundraising program for the Orange County Bar Association, and they were going to put on a program called the Bar Review, and it was REVUE, not REVIEW. Law Review is what law schools have as their scholastic work. If you are on the Law Review at your law school, then you're writing articles, some of which get published, some of which get cited in case laws and stuff. A review, like a Hollywood review, is a show. Okay. And this was a song and dance show.
Oh, that's cool.
Of local judges and lawyers. And the guy who was heading this up, who was very active with the bar, Sam, came to me and he said, "John, I want you to get involved with the Law Review." I said, "What do you want me to do?" He says, "You're funny. Do stand-up comedy." Okay.
Even he knew it.
He says, "Just do something funny." I said, how much time do you need? He said, 5-10 minutes. I said, okay. So I came up with a skit, and I tried it out on my wife, on my friends, and they laughed. They thought it was clever.
Yeah.
It was lawyer-oriented. And the guy that was on before me, who later became a judge, played on the piano a piece of classical music. If you heard it, you would immediately recognize it. It's
Beethoven.
No.
Bach.
Johann Sebastian Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor.
Jesus.
And he's playing this on the piano. And now I'm going to come out and follow this serious piece of music. At the time, it was also theme music for a commercial. So I walked out, picked up the mic. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We've just completed the classical music segment of the program. I'm now going to do some hopefully humorous comedic material. Let's just thank David for doing Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor. And for the rest of the lawyers, it's this theme to the BMW commercial. I made up that line as I walked out on stage.
Are you serious?
Because I didn't know what the act ahead of me was.
Oh yeah, how would you have known it?
So,
yeah. Oh wow. On the spot.
Did that. That was fun. And then
did you like bomb, or was it good?
No,
People laughed.
Good. It was good.
Okay.
To get ready for it, I thought, I don't know how to do any stand-up comedy. What am I going to do? So I'm at lunch one day, and there's a bunch of these free magazines that advertise just about everything, and I grab one, and I'm leafing through, and it says, "Take a class in stand-up comedy." Oh, okay.
Like improv type of thing?
Like improv, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like improv, but you'll do some material,
yeah, and
you'll learn how to do stand-up comedy. And it was 3 or 4 meetings. It was taught by a guy named Steve Lashley, I think. He taught theater arts at Irvine Valley College. Later, now I think it's Saddleback. And one of his students was Will Ferrell.
What?
And he's teaching us this class. There's about 20 of us in his garage. And he's teaching us how to use the microphone, how not to p your P's and, your S's.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's, okay, now come up with some material and deliver it to us.
Yeah.
And we're all going to critique you and help you. Okay. So we did it. He said, okay, your final exam is those of you that want to are going to perform at a place called the Laugh Stop. It was in Newport Beach, right down from my office at the intersection of Bristol and Campus Drive, right where the John Wayne Airport runway, the planes take off.
Okay.
There was a little comedy club there for a while.
Are you sure it wasn't Laugh Factory? It was Laugh Stop?
Yeah, it was Laugh Stop. Laugh Factory is a big organization. They got a number of places.
Okay, yeah.
So, gosh, we're going to perform live on stage.
For people, yeah.
For people.
Yeah.
And he said, now...
It's nerve-wracking.
Here's how it's going to work. You guys are going to be the warm-up for Monday night amateur hour. we will be what warms up the audience for amateur hour. In other words, down on the bottom of the fishbowl.
You're like
right down there where stuff settles. That's where we are. Up here where the fish are swimming, where Steve Martin's swimming like a shark in the water.
Of course.
Nuh-uh.
No. I mean, well, but we all start somewhere, right? So, you got to start somewhere.
And he said, whoever wants to do this can do this, but what I need you all to do is you need to get people in. We need to put bottoms in the seats.
Spread the word. Spread the word.
So on the Friday before the Monday, I circulated a memo. Any of our subtenants who don't want to have their rent raised, and any of our employees who want to have a job on Monday, on Tuesday, will show up. Yeah. I got like 20 people in the audience. And the other guys had their family and friends. So
That's great.
We had a full house.
Wow.
Put on our stuff, and away it went.
People laughed? It was good?
People laughed. It was fun.
I wish there was like a recording of this somewhere. There has to be, right? Like a video of you doing your...
Yeah, I have it.
You have it?
I have it.
We got to watch that, John.
It's pretty... my wife had a 25-pound shoulder-mounted video camera.
Oh, right. On her shoulder.
So
of course.
And so then the guy who taught us, he emceed it. So he called me one day and he says, I'm opening a comedy club in Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
I'd like you to be my headliner. And I thought, you mean the thing that is up here above your car seat? Head? No, John, no. I said, sure, Steve.
The headliner.
When? This was in what had been a group room or banquet room above an Italian restaurant.
Okay.
And the guy says, you know, I'm not using it, so I'll rent it to you for your comedy club. Okie doke. So he sends me a 1-page, 8.5 by 11 page announcement opening his comedy club. It said headliner and had my name.
No way.
So I call him up and I say, why don't you send me the rest of the flyers that you sent out with the names of your other headliners? Because I know I'm not a headliner. I've only performed at the Laugh Stop. So
you thought he was messing with you?
Well, I figured what he did was he printed up one for me, headlining, and I'm to copy it and pass it out to everybody. And then he made one for Sean, and Sean's going to be the headliner and pass it out, and we'll have several headliners.
Oh. You thought that's what his whole gist was, his whole plan was?
Yeah. I was
You're
wrong.
really underestimating yourself, John.
So I showed up, and my dad took the train up from Encinitas where he was living, and I didn't want him to drive home, so we limoed him home.
Wow.
This was I was 48, 49, something like that.
So 30 years ago.
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah, something like that. It was in the 90s. And so there was a routine that he liked, and he'd had it on an old record back from the 50s. And I had learned that routine and mimicked it, and I would have a little party or something. I'd do that, and it'd crack him up. He would laugh a lot at it.
Oh.
So I did it, and that's on tape.
I have to see this tape. I really want to see what you're saying. I want to see what the comedy was like back in the day compared to now.
It was good.
I gotta see it.
I did a good job, and then I did another stint for something. That one I bombed. I got cold. It was a combination of local physicians who did jazz music, 2 or 3 different groups, and then a half a dozen lawyers who were comics.
Oh.
And the crowd came, and they wanted to hear the jazz. Yeah. And they weren't interested in the lawyers.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So when I was done, there was this 5 or 6 people clapping slowly, and other people grumbling. Get the jazz guys back. Get the jazz. So we did the only reasonable thing. The lawyers got together and we sued their bastards. Cleaned up.
Tough crowd.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
So then that got fun, and then I got an agent, and I think I told you at the gym, I took some more classes in how to do commercials.
You did do you mentioned the commercials.
And I did that stuff. And
so John was on a commercial. For those of you guys that don't know, tell the world what company that you were in, because I feel like they
You mean my big one? My national commercial?
Your national commercial that you get paid millions and millions for every time it airs.
This was a big one.
Yeah.
So every year about this time, around May, Terminex would run their commercial about termites.
Terminex, guys, for
Big Terminex.
You know, when you get termites and they cover the house with the blankets and
That
everything.
deal.
We're talking about, you know, my audience is a bunch of people that, you know, they just don't
They know
understand
that stuff. Yeah. So
Yeah. Oh no, they don't know that stuff. That's why we gotta like break it down for them. Anyways.
I got a call and I auditioned for it, and I called back and auditioned again, and then they cast me in this commercial. And the commercial, the gist of the commercial was, they went to a house in Pasadena, and they tore down the siding, the wood siding on one wall, and they put up new wood siding, and they took out all the insulation, and they tripwired the siding so that if a guy off camera pulled a piece of fish line, all the hooks would release and the siding would fall off.
Oh, wow.
And then you could see through the framing of the house into the house where there was a man sitting down reading his newspaper. I was the man. Outside was my camera wife, not my real wife, and she was raking leaves outside the house. She would rake the leaves, hit the siding, guy pulls the wire, siding falls down, camera zooms in on me. And I have this surprised, astonished look on my face. And then they did it. Now I had a puzzled look, and then I had a sad look, and I had a frightened look. Okay, so they were done. A one-day shoot. We left. Then I saw the commercial. My face is on the commercial for approximately 2.5 seconds.
No words even?
No
Not
lines.
a single word?
No lines.
Oh, wow.
And then it flashes to her, and she's on for another 3 or 4 seconds, and it's back on to me for an additional second or so.
Oh, my God.
So I took what they paid me, and I amortized it out. And I reported it on my income taxes, obviously, and they actually paid me like $8,000 for this thing.
Holy shit.
They got to run it for 2 or 3 years. So, okay.
That's
So I
fantastic.
thought, all right, let's do the math. 2.5 seconds, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 4.3 weeks per month, 12 months in a year. Run on the calculator for about a half an hour.
All right.
Huh. On an annual basis, I made $92 million. Now, I didn't count the 9 hours I was on set.
Doesn't matter.
Because it was the 2.5 hours that they paid, or 2.5 seconds they paid me for.
Right.
And I thought, if I remembered correctly, Bill Gates only made $90 million that year.
You earn more than Bill?
Well, when calculated that way, yes.
Yes, it is. On paper,
Yes. Go big or go home. Yeah.
Bill, if you're watching this, step up your game, please. You got some competition here now. Some real competition.
Can I have a free subscription to Windows 365?
Yeah. Can you stop making us pay for Microsoft Word, by the way, Bill? Like, it's Microsoft Word, man. Like, come on, for God's sake. John.
So, yes?
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but, I mean...
Oh, it's my zipper.
No, you... John, what is your... everyone, you know, they have their young and crazy phase. So I just want to ask you... I don't even know how to ask it, but I'm just going to go straight at... Have you ever smoked pot, John?
This is on a public broadcast.
Yes.
Never.
Are we going to have to cut this out now?
No.
It's not, right?
Why? What do you mean?
I mean, like, because I don't know. I just feel like...
I mean, since it's been legalized for several years?
Oh,
you can
well...
buy it everywhere?
I mean, people were smoking before then, too.
Were they? In California? Are you serious? Oh, you mean those hippies?
The
That's
hippies,
what they were?
Yeah, in their vans and
Uh-huh.
Volkswagen vans and stuff.
No, I wouldn't have done that.
I just want to know what your poison was back in the day. Because everyone has their poison, whether it be alcohol or weed or... I mean, you're in law, and I know for a fact, like, if you go on... Like, if you watch movies and stuff, you can already imagine what people... Like, the preconceived ideas of people that are in law are.
Yeah. Well...
all day, all night.
I didn't very often combine the two, the comedy with the law. In law, I was a serious practitioner. I was a litigator, general practitioner for the first half of my career. I did a lot of family law, had my share of trials, I had a couple of appeals, and I did okay. Then I got tired of, I liked courtroom work. I'd get real nervous and amped up, and as soon as the judge calls the case, and I would stand up in my lawyer's voice and say, "Good morning, Your Honor, John Ellingson for petitioner. Petitioner is present, we're ready to proceed." After that, I knew what I was doing. And what got bothersome was the trip to the courthouse, or the trip to the point where you could sit down with the other attorney or attorneys and settle a case. It was all a bunch of BS. They'd paper you to death, interrogatories, and ask for this and ask for that, and then play hardball. And it wasn't fulfilling. I thought, I can do more than that. So I took some training to become a divorce mediator, where I, instead of going to court and doing it in a controlled environment, I'd have husband and wife come into my office, sit a little closer to me than you are, across this table, and have it out right there, mano a mano. Teach them how to speak and how to listen and how to express themselves, and tell them, you know the best outcome for you and your family. You know what makes the best sense economically and for the benefit of your kids if you have kids. If you give it to lawyers, they're going to go try to get the best they can.
Yeah.
You can get that right here. You just have to be reasonable, know what you want. You each know what each other wants before you walked in here.
Yeah.
So let's sit down and start.
So the mediator wouldn't necessarily bring them back together or anything.
No,
This is just...
It was not marriage counseling. It was not to resolve their differences.
No.
Sometimes their differences came up. We had to deal with them. And it was not to be the judge and decide for them. Your job was to help them find a solution. And I would make sure that they each had available a lawyer on the sideline.
Yeah.
Because even though I was a lawyer, I couldn't act as their lawyer. It would be an automatic conflict of interest. If you're the husband and you ask me, what are my legal rights to this? Am I going to answer that based on the best outcome I can see for you? Or what happens when she asks me a similar question?
Yeah.
How am I going to answer that? And I would say, if you have a legal question, I'll help you frame the question. I'll help you write the question, then take it to a consulting attorney.
Okay.
They'd come back sometimes and they'd say, well, my attorney says the light is yellow.
Yeah.
And the other would say, my attorney said the light's red. What are we going to do? I said, now you have two different pieces of information. You can either find a shade of color of the light that will work for you, or let a judge decide.
Up to you. Yeah.
And okay, is that the cornerstone of this case? And I did I would co-mediate with a mental health professional, and they would be there to kind of help them keep their heads on straight, eyes focused forward.
Yeah.
That was much harder work because it's live fire. It's not prepare in advance, go in and put on your evidence, let the judge do the job.
Right.
And you never knew what was going to come your way. So it was like improv. It was like improv, but it was real serious, life-changing improv for people. And that worked well for me, and it worked well for them.
I feel like you've seen a lot as a divorce mediator. I'm sure you've seen like crazy levels of chaos and maturity at the same time.
Exactly.
But like, how do you... First of all, you're in a happy marriage right now, obviously, right?
Oh, God, let's not go down there. I've got to go visit my first wife today.
Oh, no. The first one? That's crazy, actually.
Oh, no, wait a minute. No, I confused myself. You threw me there.
It's the second one.
No. It's the first and only one.
Oh.
And last week it was 43 years with her.
John, 43 years? Congratulations.
Yeah, and I thought Vietnam was tough.
I am so impressed by that, actually, dude. 43 years?
Yeah, I charged into marriage a lot easier than I thought about charging into war.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, my longest relationship has been 6 months.
I can hold my breath for 6 months. To be married 43 years, you have to be able to do that, be able to hold your urine for at least a week.
I cannot... Wait, what about, like, 43 years?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. You're 23 years old. You're just getting your head around that.
What the hell is going on? Like, how do you... And you were a marriage mediator, so you obviously know something about being happy. You obviously know something about keeping the peace. And as we were walking inside the apartment, we found out as well that you are a peacekeeper and a peacemaker. So what's your secret, John?
Humor.
Really?
Humor and remembering the 3 important words.
Which are?
And you must know what they are.
I love you? What is it?
You're right, dear.
I feel like you're the type to say that a lot, actually.
You're right, dear. Or, I'm sorry, hon.
Yeah. Simple.
That's for you, Carol.
Carol, this man's head over heels for you, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, dear. That's wow. You know what? I'm gonna keep that for my next relationship. Maybe it'll last longer than 6 months next time, instead of arguing.
You know the phrase, you can only create a first impression once? You may have heard that.
Of course.
So people say, well, how did you meet? And
yeah, how did you guys meet?
You?
Yeah.
And how long did you live together? And ask all kinds of questions. We met in a bar near my office in Newport, close to the airport. It's been gone for several years. Oldsters knew it as one of the restaurants in the Devil's Triangle. El Torito, Little Joe's, and Blackbeard's.
Okay.
It's Thursday night. Saturday night fever has been out. I'm wearing my blue polyester leisure suit jacket. My beard is shaped like yours, a bit fuller. Lots of hair hanging all over.
Yeah.
Me and my wingman are out for a night.
Oh, your wingman. Okay.
So 2 quick drinks at the bar, get as much of the free hors d'oeuvres as we could, stake out the best places.
Yeah.
I've got this corner of the bar, he's got that. We got a 270-degree view of the targets.
Perfect.
And a beautiful woman walks out of the ladies' room. The tide of the room is generally moving toward the door. We've been there for an hour or so. People are starting to move toward the door, and I can see by the way she's walking and she's looking, she's going to get in that tide and she's going to go out that door. And I don't know what it was. She was nice looking, but there was just something about her. So as she steps into the tide, she happens to look toward me.
Yeah.
And I look toward her. And I kind of motion, and just in a low but barely audible voice, I say, "Excuse me." And she stepped through the tide and stepped up toward me. Yes. And she didn't have an alluring look, a come get me look. She just said, "Yes," as though, "What, idiot? What do you want?"
Yeah, what's up? Yeah.
So what came to my mind was all those programs you've seen on National Geographic with the predator animals, the lion, the cheetah chasing an antelope across the Serengeti. Right. And there's the Serengeti, and there's the antelope, and I'm the cheetah. I've even got that black spot, that football stuff under my eye.
Under your eyes, yeah.
And I got to stop her and kind of reach up and feel the big boy collar of my polyester shirt. And I said, "I was just wondering if you're not busy next Thursday, if you'd like to get married." And as the words came out of my mouth,
what?
I tried to grab them like butterflies and stuck them back in.
Oh my God.
And a voice back here is saying, "You went to law school. You served in the army. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
Faint. Do something." She paused and she said, "Morning or afternoon?"
No
and I thought,
way.
This is real close to when the senior partner threw the roll at me. I said, "Probably morning." She said, "Morning. That'd be good. It'd give us more time to get the invitations out." Whereupon I used my I never used lines when I would meet girls. Never. That's an exception. I would never say, oh, here's looking up your street, or what's your sign? Do you come here often? Hey,
Yeah.
I would say, hi, my name's John. That didn't work. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's when I introduced myself. She told me her name. And she says, well, it was nice meeting you. She gave me her business phone number. And she said, well, I was just leaving with my friend who's right behind me here. Well, I'll walk you to your car. So I walked her to a car. She had a Volkswagen Beetle. I, on the other hand, as a recently minted lawyer, I'd been practicing about 2 years. I was driving a gold-colored Super Beetle Volkswagen. Mine had an FM radio in it.
But hers didn't.
No, hers was a Beetle.
Oh, okay.
Not a Super Beetle.
Super Beetle.
And my car was parked 4 cars from her.
Wow.
So, time passed.
The rest is history.
And the rest is history.
John, that is... So people were just so much bolder back in the day, I feel like.
Oh, different adjective. Dumber.
Dumber? What? Dude.
That's not bold. That's stupid.
I think that's actually genius. I feel like girls nowadays would like to hear something like that from a guy.
Then I'll tell you what. I'll be your wingman once. You can introduce me as your grandfather, and I'll go out. We'll go to any one of these saloons around here. We'll go in. You'll try that out, and I'll be there to catch you when your head snaps back. I'll wear real casual clothes, and I'll have a shop rag in my pocket for the blood.
Yeah, that's honestly... Oh, my God. John, but you must like the confidence to say something like that even.
No, I wasn't in my right mind. Were you
drunk? Were you like tipsy or something?
I'd had a drink, but there was no time to think of anything. She's walking in my general direction, looking like you'd cross traffic, waiting for a little opening. She's in the line of traffic that's moving to the door, and she's about to go there, and her head turns and catches my eye. Excuse me. And she steps over, and I'm thinking, now what? I'd like to ravish you. Will you go out with me? But, John, be a killer.
Yes.
I was just wondering if you're not busy Thursday. Why Thursday? I don't effing know. It's Thursday night. How about a week from now? Next Thursday, if you'd like to get married. You go, oh. I thought the next thing would be the sound of me throwing up.
Dude, the fact that she responded with that morning, dude.
Another roll thrown across the room.
That's like...
We have told that story, and we have the routine. So when how'd you guys meet?
Yeah.
People always ask, how'd you guys meet? And whichever one will just, okay, set, action. And and she'll start it by, she's turning her head, starts to move. And then I'll do it, and we just go through it in much less time than I'm boring you with it.
No, what?
And it always gets a laugh. It always gets a laugh.
That is so... Wow, dude. You're making me, like, slightly embarrassed at the fact that... Because I've seen... There are so many, like, nice, pretty girls that I want to go up to and be like, hey, like...
I recommend you not try that approach.
But then how the hell are you supposed to meet anyone nowadays? It's just you got to go up to them, and I don't like the dating apps. I don't do none of that stuff.
Yeah, that all came long after we'd been married.
I love that. Like, you don't understand. I don't think you realize, like, your story. It's like 99.9% better than most people's stories nowadays. And that's not to say like people's stories are bad. It's just we're in a different time now.
That's
people
true.
Naturally nowadays they meet each other on Tinder or on Hinge or something.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't want to tell my kids
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Match.com. That's like even no one is even so. I don't want to like grow up one day and then my kids ask us like, "How'd you guys meet?" On Hinge. I don't like that. Is a story right there. And it's making me realize now, and I think it's going to make a lot of people realize now that just go for it. What's the worst that can happen? She says no. She's not going to call the cops on your ass or something. Like, she just says no. And then you keep it pushing. You keep going with your life. I have so many moments where I'm like, damn, I wish I could just... And I've done it before. I've only acted on that instinct one time, and I got the girl's number. Yes, but then I find out that she has a boyfriend.
Oh yeah.
So I took a step back. I said, "Listen, I will never go for someone that is in a relationship already." But this is fantastic. This is how it should be, in my opinion. Just
well,
go
it
up.
worked.
Yeah, it worked. And now you're 43. Imagine you never had said that, John. Imagine you never went up. Imagine you never said, "Excuse me."
Well, I've gone through that, and I thought that's one of those forks in the road that it happens and it changes your life.
Yeah.
And who knows what might have been. And then when I start going down that road, I think life is really pretty good. I'm glad I took this direction. I don't really know or care what would have been in the other direction.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Yeah. Who cares? Yeah. We're here now.
Okay, now I'm going to switch gears.
Go ahead. I want to hear what you got.
Okay, so this is constructive feedback at your expense. So the other day, a day or so ago, I was looking at your podcast.
Okay.
And one of them, you had 2 attractive young women who went to the gym a lot.
Yes.
And you were being very complimentary toward them, appropriately so.
I try to keep it appropriate, yeah.
It was. And you were very nice. And you said of them, they're hustlers at the gym.
Yes.
They're beasts. They go there and they work out.
They grind, yeah, of course.
Now I'm going to have you read the definition of the word hustler.
Oh my God.
Or would you like me to read it?
You know
perhaps you would.
Go ahead. You read it, yeah.
Definition of hustler. A prostitute, a woman who engages in sexual activity for money. Policemen keep the street clean of hustlers. Prostitute, hooker. But there's others. Female hustlers stand up. The definition of a hustler. Enterprising women who are determined to succeed. Go-getters. Goal, not gold. Gold diggers. Hustler. An independent woman who makes her own money and feeds herself and family. These women are known as true hustlers. I'm sure you meant the latter. You didn't mean that first one, did you? You didn't really mean to say, these girls are a couple of gym rats and they're real hookers. That's not what was on your mind. Because, you can't call in when you're...
John.
See, if I'd have seen that live, I'd have called you. I'd have said, okay, look, you got to reach out, grab the words, stuff them back in your mouth, and come up with something real damn quick.
That's so crazy. You're the first person to point that out to me.
On behalf of Sean, ladies, I apologize to you.
Yes.
He meant the kind of ambitious women who succeed and make the world a better place.
Absolutely. John, thank you for correcting me. Ladies, you know what I meant. The latter. That's all I'm going to say, because that's all there is to it.
See, and we're done with that now, see?
I really didn't know that that's the definition of hustlers, though. Like, you really just, shocked me with that. What? We also, the word hustle...
has a positive connotation.
Nowadays...
But in years past, hustle was a gig. A con man was a hustler.
Oh, okay.
It was a hustle. It was a rumble, shout,
Yeah, like a scammer.
Quick, yeah, like a scammer. Yeah, like a con man.
You learn something new every day. So you guys are not scammers or prostitutes or anything like that. You guys are just hard workers. Let's just say that. Hard workers in the gym.
Successful women.
Yes.
That's it. Good.
Oh my God, wow. Thank you for correcting me on that, actually. Good to know. Good to know. I keep using hustler all the time, but any other constructive feedback you got?
Yes. One other on my list. I watched your recent one for your birthday.
It wasn't my most recent one was the Jihad in Islam one, but that one was a couple episodes ago.
Yeah,
okay,
it was.
Yeah.
It was when you turned 23.
Yes, sir.
And you were there and you said, and I'm here, and it's just me today. And I thought, your 23rd birthday, and you're all by yourself, and this is the best you got. You're talking to a bunch of other lonely people. It's
self-reflective,
Uh-huh. I got kind of sentimental and then sad, and I couldn't watch much more of it. I began to break down, so I called all my friends and asked if they'd come over and help celebrate your birthday, but I didn't know where you lived.
My birthday was actually extremely fun. I had my best friend come over. My brother was here and my mom. And we got some Korean barbecue right after that episode was recorded.
Oh, good. I feel better now.
So don't even worry. Don't even worry. I had asked everyone to leave so that I could record that episode. And then they came back and then we all got dinner together. So it was not too bad, actually. It was not a lonely night at all. I was blessed to say I was surrounded by family and friends. Yeah.
Good.
It was not too bad.
Well, happy birthday. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. What was your best birthday, John? What did that look like? What year was your best, like the most memorable birthday?
My 10th birthday, I got a 3-speed Schwinn bicycle.
I'm going to actually jump off the balcony because my 10th birthday was the best too. Are you kidding me? Are you serious?
I'm serious. It's the best one.
And you've had 78 birthdays. He's had 78 birthdays.
77. I'm working on 78.
Right. And he's saying that his 10th was the best. What is going on in the 10th?
It just stands out. I'd wanted a bicycle, a new bicycle, a 3-speed. And
what's a 3-speed? What is that?
It had a little...
Oh, you can adjust
derailleur.
The speed thing?
Yeah.
Right.
Not like the 20, the bikes now with 20, 27 speeds.
Yeah.
It said 3 little...
Absolutely.
Handbrakes, and away you go. And I wanted one, and my dad said, okay, you've got to save up $10, and we'll go buy you a bicycle.
$10.
And I got paid a quarter to mow the lawn, and I got paid something to clean the swimming pool, and I got paid to do certain things. So I saved up $10, and it was just before my birthday. And I told my dad I saved up the money. So he said, okay, let's go get you a bike. And we went out on my birthday. He knew right, he'd already had this picked out. He was way ahead of me. And there was a shiny new red Schwinn bicycle with 3-speed derailleur.
Wow.
And I thought, man, that is it. I'm in the big time now.
Yes.
I'm in the big time now.
Coolest kid in class after that.
I had a really good surprise birthday party for my 22nd birthday. That summer, I moved into an apartment with 3 other guys, 2-bedroom apartment, 4 guys, and we all worked our asses off during the summer. I was getting ready to go to law school. It was after I'd graduated from college. And it was just, I just wanted to get out there a little bit. I lived at home through college. So one of my closest friends, I'd met him when I was a teenager, he and the other guys decided to organize a surprise birthday party for me.
That's cool.
It was cool. It was on my birthday, which was a weeknight. So he said, okay, everybody show up at 5 o'clock. And we're going to do something, and then we'll have a bunch of food there. Well, they were all working, taking summer school classes, doing stuff. So at the moment when the surprise was supposed to happen, there'd be a knock at the door, and I'd open the door, and there'd be a bunch of people in the apartment. They'd take me out for this drive. My then girlfriend and I. Yeah. Come on, we're going to take you on a drive around, like we're going to go have dinner here and go have dinner there for your birthday. And one of them was going to act like the limo driver. Oh, yeah. And then it was all, no, we're teasing. So they come back to the apartment. The idea is open the door, and there'll be a bunch of my friends in there. I open the door, and there's my one buddy. What? And he's standing there with this look on his face. And the other guy standing next to me goes, nobody came to my surprise birthday party.
What?
Not one person. It's 5 o'clock. And and my buddy,
John.
My buddy, whose name was also John, he says, Johnny, come on out here, let me talk to you. He says, honest to God, I don't know what happened. We invited so-and-so and so-and-so, and they were all I all said they were going to come. We told them it was 5 o'clock, and we wanted to get you here at 5:15,
Yeah.
And nobody's shown up yet. I said, you telling me the truth? And he said, yeah. And as a lawyer, hadn't even started law school. As a wannabe, would-be someday lawyer, I thought you need to handle this in an adult manner. And so I walked over close to the pool, grabbed him by the shirt, and threw him in the pool with his clothes on.
Your buddy John, you threw in the pool?
Yeah.
Why him? He showed up.
He organized it.
Oh.
So then I turned to the other guy, and he said, "Never mind," and he jumped in the pool with his clothes on. And about an hour and a half later, and a few Scotch whiskeys later, everybody had shown up. There was about, 15, 20 people.
Damn, that's still nice, though.
That was memorable.
Yeah, that was very memorable.
That was memorable.
Can I tell you my 10th birthday?
Yeah.
I want us to compare 10th birthdays, because I feel like mine is...
Yours is going to be so much better than mine.
Get ready. So, for my 10th birthday, I don't like cake. I'm not a cake person.
No cake?
No cake. I mean, back then I didn't like cake. Now I'll have like all the cake in the world. But like back then I was just picky on it. So my parents, they threw me this big birthday party at our house. We lived in Bel Air at the time.
Whoa.
I know.
Bel Air.
That was
you
back...
know what cake looks like in Bel Air?
It was actually... That was like peak of our life, like money wise. It was all downhill from there.
Man, you peaked early.
Yeah, really early, a little too soon, honestly. But yeah, it was. We invited like 15, 20 of my school friends from elementary school. I was in 4th grade. I'll never forget it. My parents had arranged this laser tag company.
Oh my God.
To come to our house.
No.
And they set up a whole thing in our backyard.
Oh, jeez.
Like barricades and like little tubes and stuff and like, just things that you can cover behind and everything.
Okay, listeners, followers, put this in your mind. You're 10 and you have a choice. Bel Air, laser tag in the backyard. He hasn't even gotten to the cake, probably bigger than he was.
Oh, we're not even, yeah.
Or downtown Downey with a 3-speed bicycle. You decide. Me, I know who's coming out on top of this one.
Downey for sure. We're not even, like, that's not even the best part. The best part was that they had also rented out 2 of these huge, long vans. And inside the vans, there were each 3 televisions. And underneath each television, there was an Xbox and a PlayStation. To which you can link up and everyone can play together at the same time. Call of Duty, Halo, any game that you wanted to play.
Whoa.
And that was in our driveway.
3-speed bicycle. 3-speed bicycle.
3-speed bicycle looking real hot right now.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It was red too.
And then, that was literally just that was the whole party. We did that, and then everyone came into the truck, and then after the truck, we went to the laser tag, all that. At the end, my parents, knowing that I don't like cake, they got this like mountain of donuts. Like a mountain.
Had to eat your way through them.
So we had donuts, and they brought In-N-Out, because I loved In-N-Out. I still, to this day, my favorite fast food of all time is In-N-Out Burger.
They're pretty good.
And they're fresh, too. Yeah. So, like, why the hell not? Much better than all these other fast food joints. Like, astronomically better.
A mountain of donuts.
Some In-N-Out, laser tag.
Digital laser tag, PlayStation games, red bicycle. Okay. Well, it is helpful that all the computer... It's helpful that computer games were not in existence on my 10th birthday.
Otherwise, you would have been stacked. For sure. I'm sure you're
I'd have been, So, congratulations. That was a memorable and great birthday.
That was the best birthday.
We have that in common.
Yes. And you spent it with your dad.
With my folks.
With your folks, both.
Yeah.
Your folks, wait, you grew up here in Irvine?
Nope, I grew up in Downey.
Downey, California?
Mm-hmm. Dear old downtown Downey.
Isn't that like, for lack of better term, isn't that like a real sketchy place?
No, I went through there not long ago. It was suburban L.A. at the time. It's right at the intersection of the 5 and the 605.
At the time, though?
Yeah.
But what about now?
At the time, it was upper middle class.
Right.
Across Lakewood Boulevard in North Downey were the rich people, the doctors, the lawyers, the car dealers. On our side of the tracks were middle-class people, a lot of people with working jobs, a lot of people that my dad owned a small business, and they were Tom Brokaw's greatest generation. These were all post-war families.
Yeah.
Most of the guys had served in the military. They were all starting families together. This was in the early and mid-50s. And it was a very, very nice, safe place to grow up. It was like Irvine. It was a very safe place to grow up. Good schools.
And is it like a city in Orange County? Is Downey considered Orange County, or is that LA County?
It's LA.
Oh, it's LA County. Okay.
Yeah.
So what about nowadays? What do people say about Downey now? Is it like the still like same nice suburban?
I just drove through there. I had a reason coming back from LA, and the 5 freeway is kind of junky, so I thought, I'm just going to turn off here and drive through my old neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I did. And the houses are all well maintained. The yards are nice. Most of them were single family, single story houses on fairly good sized lots. So many of them now have been mansionized.
Yeah.
So they've gone up 2 stories and made them much bigger homes.
Damn.
The school is still there. Everything is intact.
Speaking about mansionized, they are my home back in Bel Air. They smashed that. They made it into a 3-story. My house was 1 story.
Yeah.
It was just 1 story, and we had a nice backyard, but it was just 1 story. They smashed the whole thing, demolished it. I went and I saw it like a couple of years ago. I was in LA with my friends, and then like it was like 2 a.m. We're like, should we go see my old house just to see what it's like right now? Just to see. I didn't realize like how many like twists and turns there are to get to. I don't know who would want to live in a neighborhood where there's so many small streets and twists and turns. It's ridiculous. But it was completely demolished, and there was this new construction, contemporary style. It was 3 stories. Guess how much? In Bel Air, 3-story house. Take a wild guess how much they were selling it for.
$9 million.
$12 million.
Good night, nurse.
And I just want to our when we had our house, it was nothing near that amount. It was nothing compared to like everything in that neighborhood now is these big.
Oh yeah.
Everything is mansionized.
It is. We're going to take a short break now.
Yes.
Word from our sponsor.
Word from our sponsor. Yes, please. Absolutely. And we're back. Where were we?
Your $12 million house you grew up in.
Oh, no. It was it was definitely not $12 million when we got it. Damn, I'm realizing now, like, I wonder if any of my elementary school friends are going to watch this.
Call some of them.
I should.
Reach out to them. Find them.
I have them on Instagram.
Okay.
I see them. They're all like grown up now, you know. It's like they're all. Some of them go to UCLA, USC.
Yeah, that happens.
And I'm just here chilling.
Yeah.
On my podcast, talking to Mr. John Ellingson. Isn't that crazy?
My pleasure.
Yeah. No, it's my pleasure. Honestly, the honor is mine to have you on here. You know what I was just thinking of when I was in the bathroom?
I can't imagine.
I thought of something to ask you.
You're a young man. You can think whatever you want when you're in the bathroom.
True. But one thing that I had in mind that I wanted to ask you is, you seem to be a guy that you look on the brighter side of things. You don't seem like you have a grim outlook on the world. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you seem...
I try to. I have sad moments. I have reflective moments. I have unhappy moments. But I try to talk my way out of those with myself. Not always successful. I've experienced depression before.
Oh.
And know what that feels like. And when I feel it kind of out there, okay, let's try to tackle this. Try to deal with this like you would a legal issue. Find a defense against this and work your way out of this, and remember what you have, not what you don't have and might want to have. And
so you take like a legal approach to to your emotions.
A problem-solving approach.
Wow. Because you just brought up something that so many people talk about online, actually. A lot of people nowadays, or at least people in relationships, one thing that girls talk about a lot is that when they're telling problems, when they're talking about things, issues that they're having, whatever, with their boyfriends, the boyfriends always go into problem-solving mode.
Right.
Like, okay, so this is your problem. Here's how to fix it.
Here's what we're going to do.
Yeah, exactly. Here's how we're going to fix it. When sometimes they don't want that.
They just want to be heard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They don't want to go into immediate problem-solving mode. They just want you to listen to them. They want you to feel for them. They want you to relate to them in some form. Did you ever have that issue, or were you always able to make her feel heard, understood, without immediately going into your lawyer mode?
I try to do that with myself, but not with others.
Okay.
If I think they want, whether it's a buddy going through a problem with business or whatever it is, if I think they want help or an answer, then I'll offer an idea.
Right.
If I have one. If I think this is more like, I just need to verbalize this to get it off my chest, whether they're mad about something or sad about something, a loss is tough.
Yeah.
Lose a loved one, there's no fix-it for that. So the most you can do is listen, be sympathetic, express your sympathy as best you can, and that's
time.
Time.
Time heals everything.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned that, actually. Time heals literally anything. Heartbreak, loss.
Yeah.
Any bad thing, injury, like, just give it time.
Yeah. And sometimes it's only going to get so much better, and then it's, what do you do about that? How do you accommodate that? Do you say, well, I'm going to live with that, or I'm going to be miserable with that, or what do you do? Yeah. Carol said, I once said, time heals everything. Time makes everything better. She says, I don't know. After 43 years, that's a long time. When's it going to get better? Right. And I said, be responsible. You said yes.
Yeah, it's like you jumped on this ship.
Yeah. You
can't
threw a roll at me. It's not my fault.
Exactly. Yeah. The hell? You guys are in this together.
Yeah.
Put some respect on this man's name. This is John Ellingson we have here in the flesh.
Yeah.
What I was going to ask you originally when I said that you seem like you have a positive outlook on the world, by the way, is I was going to ask, just based off of what you see from... by the way, do you have like social media or anything like that? Or do you stay away?
I don't do it at all. I have a Facebook account that I don't do anything with.
Okay.
And as that technology emerged, I thought, I'm just not going to have enough time. I'll get lost in the weeds on this.
You probably would. It's very time consuming, and it's like it grabs your attention. So you can really get trapped in it. That's what most kids nowadays are dealing with. They're like stuck in their phones all day long.
And it concerns me that so much of it draws your time, energy, and attention, and it's not productive. It doesn't go anywhere or do anything.
Dude, it goes in one ear, out the other.
And a lot of it has a dark side to it.
Yes.
Bullying makes use of it. A lot of it is not only non-productive, it's destructive.
Yeah.
And so I like technology to find information and to communicate with people I want to. This is fun. It's not harmful. And I know people who are all wrapped up with the popular apps, TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I think, I'd rather do other stuff.
I'm 100% with you. Just because the content that you're absorbing, it's not even like, you're right, it's not like productive. Sure, every now and then you'll see a video or something that you're like, oh, wow, that's kind of cool, or I just learned something new.
Yeah.
But most of it is all just garbage. It's just people fishing for likes and stuff.
And you don't know what you're going to find until you open the box.
Yeah.
I'll go online to get answers to stuff if I need a recipe for something. I had to fix something. I had to replace a battery in a remote something, and I didn't know how to get the device open.
So you Googled it.
I just went on YouTube, put in the key type, the blah, blah, blah. There it was. And in 15 seconds, you poke a screwdriver in that little place. Okay, fine.
Done. Yeah.
So very, very useful.
That's what it's useful for.
That's what it's useful for.
Like back in the day, you didn't have that. You had to figure shit out.
Yeah. And you can find intelligent informations, whether it's in written form, magazine, newspaper, or on a broadcast or podcast. You can find what you're looking for, just to kind of go out there and expose yourself, especially in the divisive times that we're in. It's so much, and it's so in favor of one position that it doesn't seem like you're learning something. You're just being given some propaganda.
Yeah.
Because then you can flip over and find its opposite number someplace else.
Of course.
And I don't see it as productive. So I just don't do that.
I question the source most of the time.
Yeah.
I always question, who is this person that is telling me this right now?
Yeah.
That they're saying something is a fact. Who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you to even say this right now? So what I wanted to ask initially was just like, what do you think about the current state of youngins out here? Are you connected to, like, do you have grandchildren or children or anything like that?
Nope, we never had kids.
Never had kids?
Just us, so we just spoiled each other.
I have the ultimate respect for that. No, seriously. I personally, I want to have kids, but do you know how much less of a headache?
Ours was a function of just the way life is. We got married, and we had one unsuccessful pregnancy. We weren't trying not to, and that was it.
Sorry about that.
So, thank you. So we look back, and it's another one of those forks in the road. What would have happened if? And we could have adopted, or we could have, but we just went down the road that we did, and we look back and we think, I'm happy. Are you happy? Yeah, I'm happy. Okay. So,
John, scratch my question. Yeah, this is what I really want to get into now, because I didn't know. I thought you had kids, honestly, until you just told me right now. So no regrets?
No. Well, I'll say this. I think about what might have been. I think about it in two ways. When I see the very successful people, my peer group, who have children and grandchildren now, and they're happy, and their children have been the fulfillment of their life here. They had their careers, their jobs, they did their stuff, but their anchor was the family. And I think, I don't have that. I'm an only child, so I don't have nieces and nephews, and brothers and sisters. So I think of that. And I also think of the legacy. They have people who will remember them.
Yeah.
And tell their stories. So I can get sad or melancholy over that. Then I'll turn and I'll say, okay, now a dose of reality. Now, you also know of people who've had great heartache and disappointment and travail. And to the ultimate extreme, losing a child. And that never goes away. That, give it time, give it all the time in the world, there's still a hole in that person's heart. Or there's been a disappointment. The child has gone astray.
Yeah.
Or they don't have a relationship with the child. Or somebody else gets in the way of the relationship with the child. And so I think, don't get stuck thinking the grass is greener on the other side because you're on this side. There's just life out there. Live it the best way you can. If you're not sure you want to have kids, don't have kids as an experiment. Go do something else for an experiment.
Yeah.
You know, go bake a cake. Try that on for size. Start with brownies. But, you know, and we didn't spend a lot of time while we were dating talking about it, but life unfolded for us the way it did. And I count myself fortunate.
Good.
So we have our health, we have each other. I love the career that I had. I was right for it. It was right for me.
Yeah.
And I got to dabble doing a little entertainment along the way.
Like, what the hell? That's a great life.
It was fun.
It's fun way to go about life, in my opinion. And you still got a lot more to go.
You thought this looked stupid and brought nothing? I was on television in 1994 or 6 on a short-lived game show called The Big Deal that followed Sunday night football.
Mm-hmm.
My wife was told by somebody, hey, there's this TV show that's going to have contestants, and we think you ought to send in a form.
Yeah.
So I met her for lunch. We started filling out this form. What do you do? Who are you? Blah, blah, blah. This was long before the internet and long before all the auditions were done.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah.
So we're filling out the form, and it said educational background. And I had already put down what I did. I was an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
So under education, I said I completed the 7th grade and then got business cards. Do you know how hard it is to go to law school? So I guess somebody thought that was funny. So they invited us to go to the taping.
You know how to stand out, man.
So they said, okay, everybody whose ticket says A, stand over here. Everybody has over there.
Yeah.
So what line are we in? Well, you're in the line for the contestants, not for the audience watching the show. So we go in and we get seated.
Yeah.
And they're warming up the audience. They got a comedian out there warming up the audience. And I said, you know what? I think there's somebody in a booth up there that's watching us. And they've got a list of these potential contestants. So when the cameras are moving and they're crossing us, look like you're having the time of your life. And my wife is attractive, and that helps.
Of course.
So the guy comes, he says, now we're looking for Mr. Big Deal. And it's a beauty contest. So he's going to women.
It's a beauty contest?
It's a beauty contest.
Oh.
So they go to women, and they say, is this your husband or boyfriend or partner? Yes. Do you think this is a candidate for Mr. Big Deal? So they came to my wife. They said, who are you with? I'm with John. Stand up, John. And how long you've been married? We'd been married, I think, 15 years then.
Yeah.
And he says to her, well, is he a good husband? Do you think he's a candidate for Mr. Big Deal? And she just gushes. Oh yes, he's good in so many ways. He cooks all the time, and he's just so much fun. How long have you been married? 15 years. He turns to me and says, what kind of law do you do? And I said, I'm a divorce lawyer. The guy says, imagine that, a divorce lawyer that's been married 15 years. You are a candidate for Mr. Big Deal.
No way.
They take us backstage.
That's so crazy.
And now it becomes apparent. It is a beauty contest. They put us in makeup, and they dress us in drag.
Wait, you?
Me and the other two guys.
You or your wife?
Me.
Wait, what?
Mr. Big Deal. I have a green sequin.
No way.
I'm wearing a green sequin dress that looks like the these signs that have little shiny pieces of metal on them and they shimmy.
Sure, yeah, of course.
That's what the dress is. I've got a
red. Oh my God.
I've got a red wig, and I'm wearing low heels, not stiletto heels.
Right.
And backstage, there's somebody coaching us. Now we're going to teach you how to walk the runway, do a quarter turn. Okay? Here's how you do it. These other two guys, I'm figuring out, they're just trying to get camera time to get work in movies and commercials. This will be part of their reel.
Okay, like their resume type
Me,
thing.
I'm there because it's fun. And
For the hell of it.
Good friends of ours that live in LA, they're with us.
Yeah.
So when they're teaching me how to walk like a woman and do a quarter turn and a half turn, I'm paying attention. I'm getting ready to go to trial. So I'm not out here clumping around like this, huh?
No.
I'm doing the best I can. And I'm
full effort.
I look like Lucille Ball with a beard.
Oh my God! There's gotta be. If this was on TV, it's gotta be somewhere. I gotta find this episode too now.
It's
two things.
It's on the same DVD as the other two things.
You burned it all onto one DVD?
Yeah.
All your television time?
The commercials and so
I gotta buy this DVD off you.
And I come out And the first guy comes out, second guy comes out, and we're all just dressed just preposterously.
Yeah.
Just absolutely over the moon. And he asked me some questions, and he asked them some questions, and I don't remember the questions. And then he asked the audience to decide who's Mr. Big Deal. Holds his hand up, and they have a volume meter, audience meter.
Oh, it's like who's louder?
I win.
No.
I win $2,000. I win $2,000 and a phone that's about the size of that log there.
Oh yeah, one of those big,
great big one, with a battery pack.
It's like a brick. Yeah, of course.
It's a Motorola, and it's the size of a television.
Yeah.
I win that, and what else? I think we got a week in Hawaii or something.
$2,000 back in the day is like $15,000 now.
And they peel off $2,000, $2,100 bills, and he hands them to me. I fold them like this, and I stuff them down my bra, right next to my great big falsies.
In front of the camera and everything.
So.
Oh, I'm gonna definitely see this DVD for sure.
There's some other people. I'm one of the three guys. I got Mr. Big Deal. Then there's a couple of other people.
Yeah.
And they say, do you want a chance for Mr. Big Deal, or do you want to keep this prize? And they keep the prize. So,
wait,
John,
I didn't get that part.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to be given a chance to go for the big deal. Think, let's make a deal when they give you a choice of what's behind curtain A, B, or C. Mm-hmm. Think that.
Yeah.
So we've got this prize, and this other gal had gotten a prize, and is she willing to risk it?
Okay. For a potentially bigger prize.
For what's behind one of these doors.
Right. Okay.
So it's she and I. So he opens up the first door, and it's something, and before that, he asks, which door do you want, John? I turn around and I look at my friend who's sitting back in the audience, and he's doing this.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know. What do I have a feeling about? I know. I'll pick door number 3, because if it's a pile of horse manure, I can blame it on Jim, because he went like that.
He said it, yeah.
Right.
He said it, yeah.
So I thought, I'll take door number 3. Door number 2 was a trip to someplace and something else, and door number 3 was a brand new 1996 Ford Mustang. Better than the 10-speed bicycle.
Oh my God. Wait a minute. You want a Mustang?
I want a Mustang. I had seen it when we walked into the set. I saw this car over there, and I said to Carol, let's win that. And we made a deal driving down. We said, look, if we have a chance to win something and a chance to trade up, we didn't know anything about the show. We didn't know what the format was or anything.
Yeah.
Let's trade up to something worthwhile. I don't want to go home with a pair of sunglasses.
Yeah. You get something good out of this.
And some luggage or something.
Yeah.
So when I won that, we just went nuts. That's
actually like the best. Dude, your stories are topping your other stories one by one. I thought you won 2 bands, and you're like, so I would win $2,000 happily and be happy with that. You got a car out of this shit?
I got a car out of it. Yep, I got a car. I won a car on TV. And
that's so cool.
Then I said, why, go on over and get your new car. And out from behind came the Laker girls dancing around the car.
No.
Yeah.
No, you're joking. Now you're kidding.
Nope.
And they start dancing around the car.
And I thought, if I get them too, this is a grand slam for me and a big explanation for Carol. Yeah. This is not going to work.
You probably took a picture with them and everything too, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Wow. And you're still dressed like a drag queen the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Eyelashes, all of it.
Dude, in another life, you were an entertainer.
No, in another life, I was a tall woman.
Or a tall woman.
Mm-hmm.
Or a tall woman.
There you go.
Wow.
Yep.
Holy shit.
All right, here's my final story. Then I'm going to give you your life back.
No, I want to hear this, yeah. And then I want to tell you something afterwards, too.
Okay.
Go ahead, yeah.
So, this is several years ago. It's before I was I was kind of transitioning into mediation, but I still had some litigation cases. It's a divorce case. We're in court for a rather simple hearing. We're going to be some testimony, but it's not a great big trial. It's an interim motion to decide something. It's pretty simple. The other attorney and I, he's a real nice guy, and he and I pretty much know what the outcome's going to be, but we can't get our clients to agree.
Of course.
So, all right, let a judge decide. That's what he's there for. So we put it on, case is over with, and the judge, I know the judge, and he does too, and so we're finished. So I'm closing my briefcase, click, click, and his name's O'Lear, Steve O'Lear.
The judge?
No, the other attorney.
lawyer. Uh-huh.
Mr. O'Lear, this is for you. He was a theater arts major in college.
Oh, wow.
He knew that I'd done these commercials. So he says, judge says, if there's nothing else, we'll be in recess. He says, Your Honor, I have one other thing. What's that about? I thought we're done. She says, she kind of tips her glass down. Yes, Mr. O'Lear? He says, I need to advise this court on conduct by my opposing counsel out of the courtroom.
No.
And I think, there's going to be gunfire.
Oh my God.
Bailiff, come get me. What's going on? He says, she looks over at me, looks back at him. She says, would you like to enlighten the court? She says, Your Honor, I need to advise this court that John Ellingson has been doing television commercials. The room is quiet. There's no gallery, nobody. It's just the clerk, bailiff, judge, lawyers, their clients.
Okay.
She looks at me, and she does the same. Mr. Ellingson, do you have anything to say? I look over at the court reporter, and I go like this. And the court reporter looks at the judge, and she says, so the court reporter lifts her hands off of the court reporting machine.
The thing that types everything out.
Yeah.
Right.
Your Honor, do you have a new invention, a new idea? Would you like to patent, protect, and promote your product? Call Advent Product Development today, and your dreams can become reality.
You said that to the judge?
I went right into the commercial. Yep.
Dude, the judge must have fallen in love with you at that moment.
She's looking at me. She looks over at the other guy. She says, court will be in recess. I walked out and I said, it's good that the bailiff is still here because I'm about ready to try to rip your throat out.
Why did he do that?
He says, pretty good, wasn't it? I said, you asshole.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Oh, it was brilliant?
I thought it cracked.
Oh my God. Wait. So was this calculated?
He had me for lunch. He threw me under the bus, but he knew I think he knew he could get away with it. The case was over. The judge had ruled from the bench, so there's nothing more it's not like the judge going to think about what to do. The judge made a decision. The whole hearing took maybe 20, 25 minutes, tops.
Is this an opposing lawyer, or was this like the lawyer on your side that was helping you?
This is the guy on the other side of me.
Oh, like that's opposing you.
Yeah. He and I can't remember which one of us brought the motion, but we're in court, and it's pretty straightforward. The judge needs to make a decision. We'd each recommended our clients what to do to try to settle it. No, okay, fine, put it on. So as he starts talking, I think, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? And I thought the best way to do this is diffuse it with humor. If I get pissed off,
it's not going to look good.
He's not doing it. He's doing this to tease me.
But in that setting.
Yeah, and my only concern is I didn't want it to be part of the record, so the court reporter didn't take it down. And he said that, and I just thought, another moment, stand up, open your mouth, and make words come out.
Yeah. And right on the spot, you did it, dude.
That was it.
You are very quick on your feet, John. I got to give you that. Like, that's not a skill that a lot of people hold. I think some people are just born with it.
I don't know.
Fuck? My God. And to tell the court reporter to just stop, like, how do you even have that authority?
if it hadn't gone, if I didn't know that I was going to be able to act out and not have it on the record, I would have done something different. Well, Your Honor, I have done a couple of commercials. I'm not sure what counsel's point is, if he's objecting to that or if he thinks that should have a part of this decision. I'll get the bailiff's gun and shoot him in the face.
That was a crazy move by your buddy over there, Mr. O'Lear.
So you had another question for me.
I do, and it's a very simple one because I know we're coming to the end here,
yes.
And I just wanted to end with your perspective a little bit. I wanted to see your perspective on things.
Okay.
You know, I'm pretty connected right now to like just the youngin. My brother's 21. I'm 23. He has, 19, 20-year-old friends. I have some friends that are 28, 29, 30 now. Just this whole like from 18 to 30, it goes by like very, very fast.
Yes, it does.
It does. I'm 23 and I can't even believe it, honestly. I thought I was 18 2 days ago, and now I'm all of a sudden 23. I just wanted to ask you, being that, you have a simple outlook on things, this is a problem, this is how we solve it.
Yeah.
This is how you go about your life. If you did have a piece of advice, for the younger generation, for people like me that are just starting up, especially nowadays, there's so many people that don't know what the hell they want to do with their lives. What advice you got for them?
I didn't know where you were going, and I had no idea what I was going to say. And then I had it. So I'm going to tell you my greatest mantra, motto, slogan. This was the compass for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've maintained it most of my adult life. I was 25. I was in Vietnam. I was sitting on a beach one day. I'd been a good boy, and they gave me a 3-day in-country R&R. I did not fight the war. I was not in direct combat. I'm no war hero. I would have tried to laugh my way out of it. But that would not have worked. Those assholes had real bullets.
I appreciate the honesty, at least. Okay.
So I'm sitting on the beach, and it's this moment of this 2 days or 3 days of tranquility in that environment. And while there was war going on around me that I was very well aware of, I wasn't in it. And I'm positioning myself so I know generally directionally that home is about that direction.
That way, yeah.
I've had 1 year of law school, got drafted out of law school. I've been in country long enough to know that unless something really bad, fluky happens, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to get out of here. And I'm thinking, and then I go back to law school, and someday I'll get a job if I pass the bar, and I'll get married and probably have kids. And this thought hit me. Out there, right straight out there, is the rest of my life. I hope I live it well enough, because you only get one shot. I hope I live it well enough that I never wish that I could come back here on this beach at 25 and live my life over again in order to do it right. I hope I do it right the first time. And as I went through life, little things happening, big things happening, sea changes, forks in the road, I kept that in mind. Live your life. You're about to make a decision. Make this decision well enough that you don't have to wish you could go back and do it again. Oh, of course I've made mistakes. Of course I've wanted to unring a bell.
Of course.
Do that different, make it. But okay, what can you do now to keep moving forward? And and when I retired, I thought, okay, this part of my life is over. Now what? I'm walking around the backyard one day thinking, and I remember this motto, and I think, it's time to say it again and renew it. You've been saying it on gradually as you move through this part of your life, this career, grow up, make money, be happy, meet people, solve problems. Now you're in a different life. This is part of the end game.
Yeah.
So renew it. I hope I live the rest of these years well enough that I never wish that I could come back to today. There's going to be travail. There's the inevitability of life.
Of course.
There's all of that. Some of that you can't change. So live your life well enough. So that's my perspective. Live your life well enough. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Have fun, but don't waste large amounts of time.
Yeah.
Your time is all that you have, and you expressed how quickly it's passed from 18 to 23.
It's so fast.
Let me tell you, cousin, from 23 to 30 is going to go by in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Jobs are going to go by. Milestones will go by. Big milestones. Then gradually milestones will come fewer. If you're married a long time like I've been, there's one marriage. That's a big milestone. Kids are milestones. Educational accomplishments. Careers, mistakes, and triumphs are milestones. They gradually kind of cool off. In retirement, there aren't big milestones.
Yeah.
Well, if we had kids, we'd have grandkids.
Yeah.
All right. So live your life well enough that doing it once will be enough to fulfill you.
Wow.
There's your perspective. And remember, if you have a new idea or invention, call Advent Product Development today.
I will call, actually. Wow. John, no, that's some solid advice.
There you go. And it's free. Used to get paid a lot of money for my advice. Now,
Yeah.
we're tired of hearing it, John.
Can you, wow, yeah. You used to get paid for just sitting and listening to people giving them some advice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like a therapist.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
imagine I got actually paid from doing this.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be something? See, if this becomes a TV show,
Yeah.
and you're up there with all the daytime television people, you'll be one of the few males that has a show.
Yeah,
you
one,
know.
that's for one.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you can be out there and you laugh and you get them going, and pretty soon they can be paying you hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars per season, and
Just to
millions
listen.
of dollars just to be there and be yourself and be funny. And now I'll look to TV and say, I remember when I sat in his living room and it was a podcast. By the way, I have to tell your listeners something.
Please.
You've seen this camera angle before, and you've seen it on split screen, and what you see is this beautiful view out here. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. You think this is part of a palatial place, condo, single-family dwelling, apartment. This is a shipping container. It's on a huge RV lot in Pomona. These are not windows. These are simply active screens. Yes. He can change this. He can make this the Pacific Ocean just like that.
I can make it go dark right now.
He can make it go dark.
Right now.
You can't hear, and the reason we have headphones, outside, there's oil drilling going on. They're disassembling RVs that have been towed in here. It's just incredible.
Chaos.
And the walls, now what you see on these white walls, these are layered. Inside are egg crates that dampen the sound of all manner of crap banging up against the steel walls of this thing. It's a shipping container. There's 10,000 of them in Long Beach Harbor.
You've been lied to.
Podcast my ass.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Ellingson.
It's been my pleasure, and thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Please clap it up for the one and only John Ellingson. And outro music.
Was that fun?